The Beef and Barnzy Show, brought to you by Bowlersmart.com, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Lightning Strikes Bowl, home of Bowlers Mart Pro Shop. By Platinum Ford, drive the difference. By Fire Lake Bowling Center, 24 state-of-the-art lanes. By True Grit Coatings, drive on our passion. By Road to Grit, king of them all. By 900 Global, striking worldwide.
Good morning and welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy Show, live from Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we got a new one, and we haven't been here for a while. So, as usual, I am Barnzy, joined by the inimitable Beef Stew.
Hey guys, how are we doing this morning? So, last week we were in Decatur. And now we are in snowy Fort Wayne. So the temperature isn't going up. I created my own heat last week by being very frustrated at not throwing very many strikes. I might have had the leading top 5 first game average. Unfortunately, I was 83rd.
Got kicked in the shins after that. In
overall pinfall. So, anywho, we have a guest today.
We do. This gentleman, using the term loosely, but nonetheless, larger than life.
Yes, I think
not named aptly, but yes, he owns seven centers. He's CEO of Fun Time Centers, mostly Indiana, Illinois,
Michigan,
and he has hosted. This is going to be his 107th. Yes, that's right. 107 PBA tournaments, including last week's epic final. You probably saw him on TV there. The one, the only, David Small.
Good morning, Beef and Barnzy.
Okay, he obviously doesn't. He does better at owning bowling centers than accents.
Oh, that's the dang truth.
Yes, you might have seen him if you were looking closely. There might have been an ugly cry at some point there. If you watched last week's show, obviously that was one of the best matches, the second highest scoring match ever in a title match. Ironically, I was at the first in Wichita. Mike Albee and David Ozio, 300 to 279, and just like that, it was double in the 10th to win. 2 weeks in a row, Simo standing up there to needing all three. This time a double, could have been all three to tie.
Yeah.
You talked about, a little different doing it for 290 versus 198.
Slight difference. So, Dave, let's talk a little bit about why you are quite so pro Simonson on the show. How much slave labor did you get out of last week?
Oh, probably about 30 to 36 hours of slave labor. Absolutely. He texted me about a month before the tournament and said, Hey, Dad, can I go work on the GSX machines while I'm there? And I'm like, aren't you there to bowl and like win? And he goes, oh, I need a break. It'll be perfect. I said, oh, okay, sure. And I'll tell you what, absolute blessing. My guys, we had 32 A2s, 8 GSXs. The GSX training was never really that good. And he came in and showed us all kinds of tricks and shortcuts and how to do things a little bit better. And I'm very thankful for that. He spent a lot of my money, but, all right.
Total, you have like 270 some lanes?
280.
Right. 280. And how many of those are GSX?
And 8 GSXs.
And those 8 are the only G. So you don't really have a GSX mechanic per se. So now you do.
Unfortunately not.
And his rate's good. So
his rate was really good this week. I'm good with that.
Yeah. Maybe not the bill of the parts he ordered, but
if that's all it costs, well, shit, I got a deal. What are you talking about?
Labor.
That's right.
Labor's the expensive part.
Right.
Nico, who is a big fan of the show, says, Simo's marked himself safe from all 710s.
On the U.S. Open show, yes.
Amen.
Yeah, there was none at Victory Lanes last week.
Buff said David did a great job on Bowl TV this morning.
Thank you, Buff.
Obviously tuning in. And then Glenn says, good morning. Thank you all. Well, thanks, Glenn. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Glenn.
We will see you on the show next time, I guess, Glenn. But if you have any questions, fire in. If any of you guys are out there who are looking to follow the crazy route of our esteemed guest here, if you have any questions over the logistics of owning a bowling center, I'm sure David will be happy to guide you into retirement.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
That's what you were advised. And now 17 years.
Sure, I was.
Your first center was 17 years ago, and now you own 7. You've owned 9 overall. Sold a couple.
Owned 8. Sold 1. Yes, sir.
Okay, 8 1. There you go. And looking at almost another one.
You never know with me. Might already be in the works. Might not. Don't not.
Well, one got hit by a tornado. So.
The secret.
Got it.
So, Dave, talk us through a little bit about what the process is when you sign up to host a PBA event. You know, you've obviously got them back-to-back weeks.
Yes. Sir.
So I imagine the logistics of like trying to figure out 2 different centers and all of the staff and like get everybody on the same page. How do you achieve that? Like, when does that start?
You know, with a couple hits, with a couple good shots of Jack Daniels, that's how it starts. So I can clear my mind and figure out why the hell I keep doing this. But honestly, you know, I enjoy bringing the guys in. I enjoy doing the tour. You know, I grew up, moved around a lot, and never had a lot of friends. You know, I got Barnzy in as my friend now. I mean, I think Barnzy likes me a little bit. That's it.
Well, you're the only place he wins tournaments.
That is true. I'm the one that pads his bank account right now. And then we're not going back to his favorites. Oh, actually, we're going to Anderson too. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But you know, Saturday afternoon rolled around, and those were my friends. The tour guys were my friends, and I always said if I got into the bowling business, which I was highly advised against, I don't listen really well. I said I'd give back. I'd give back to those who made my childhood a little bit more bearable. And that's one of the main reasons why I host, to be totally honest.
Yeah. I mean, that's an awesome story, Dave. Do you, but I was just meaning more like the logistics of the whole thing, like how much planning goes into it. Like,
a ton of, you know, there's a ton of effort that goes into it, planning, logistics, people, coordinating all the different schedules. A lot of the guys will call you and hey, can you hook us up here? Hey, can you get us in there? Hey, can you do this? But, you know, once you've done a couple of them, it becomes second nature. You know, you know what to expect. You know what you're going to have to do. You know what you're going to have to set aside. So it just becomes a lot. It becomes a lot easier. It's overwhelming at first. You look at it and you go, oh, my God, how am I going to pull this schedule off? How am I going to pull this off? What happens if I run over? What about an alternate pair or a problem? If you worry about all that. But once you put it into perspective, I call it controlled chaos. It actually isn't bad. It really isn't. It's not bad.
How much lead time do you need to feel like you can adequately set up your own sponsors and then all of the things that lead up to it?
Well, they've given me less than 2 weeks before, so
that's not a normal thing because
normally we have about 6 months. About 6 months of lead time. Then the walkthrough comes from production and, you know, check everything out, you know, decide on what side of the house, the TV pair, what do you want to use? Just work through all of that. There's multiple phone calls that happen bi-weekly, usually with Michaela and a few of the other guys from the crew, and we just kind of work things out. And if we see that there might be an issue or something that we need to discuss, we openly discuss it and figure it out.
So we have a couple of Trey. How do I get the free labor you speak of?
He owns a center in
Longview. Yeah. And I'm sure if he just asked, Simo would help him, because me and Simo actually won the tournament there also.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And his response, the response that come in was, you host a PBA event and become friends with Simo.
I've been friends with Simo for a long time. I call him son. He calls me dad. It's just, you get to know everybody and you become friends, kind of like I've become friends with you guys over the years. We can joke and harass each other and have a good time, poke some fun, no harm, no foul. And you just become friends with them. I mean, they're great people. And, I enjoy making them, putting on an event for them.
And Anthony's watching. He says, Trey, I'll come and pin chase during Longview for you.
Aha!
So,
hi, son.
So, David, the Longview doubles is a double elimination 64 team bracket. Double elimination. But we basically bowl almost the entire tournament on Saturday. So by the time you get to the end, it's like 3 a.m. and you bowl in the final. Oh. So for Simo to say he'll come and pin chase, he'll have to stay in the winners section for a lot longer than we did this time.
I get that. Yes, sir.
No rounds off is a tough way to go.
But I think it would be remiss for us to not give in Simo was at pains to point out of all the hard work that Andrew Orff did for you last week. You brought him in as a contractor to help you with the machines that we were actually using for the tournament, not the ones that Simo was, playing with at the end. So yeah, shout out to him, because
100%.
Almost flawless.
Andrew, when we talked probably about, logistics time back 6 months ago, and I said, hey, you want to come over, give me a hand? I mean, my guys, I wanted to just take the pressures off my guys, because they'd never been through it before. And we put a ton. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for the compliment. And we put a ton of money and effort into those machines.
Yeah.
And
for reference, this center was something you bought a year ago.
Yeah.
Needed some TLC.
It needed a lot of work. We actually were blessed. We changed out our center in Noblesville, Indiana. We put strings in May, and we were able to take a lot of the parts that came out of Noblesville and ship them over to Decatur to fix, certain things that needed fixed, and that was a lot. We actually had 2 flatbeds that went over there.
Oh wow.
James says, thanks for all you do for the sport.
Hey, James. Hey, buddy.
He also says, congrats on Simo for the win. Nobody better than Dave Small.
Oh, Eric, what up, Junior? That's my young bro right there. What's up, dog?
Yeah, so we've got a bowling ball question. So we will get to this one, and then we'll get back to you, Dave. Hey, guys, help. Bionic is ball 1. Is that enough info to tell you what would be a good ball 2 and 3 for me? Yeah, I mean, the Bionic is fairly unique at the moment. I feel like balls that complement it quite well are phase 2 Pearl. And then depending on what you're like speed-wise, that could be the ball 3. And you put in something like that Gremlin Tour to be the in-between ball. If you're a little bit on the slower speed, you could go with the phase 2 Pearl as the ball 2, and then have something a little cleaner for the ball 3.
Yeah, and there's a few options out there right now that
yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of options. I mean, one that we kind of like a little bit, maybe not as much on the PBA, but definitely at home, has been the next factor for slower speed players. That one's been very good. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully you're striking with the Bionic, because it seems like everybody else is.
Right.
Rick Benoit says Dave is one of the great leaders within the industry, so that's nice of him to say. He's been around a minute. He's seen a few things.
He's seen things.
Yes. So
Noblesville, you have strings there. That's a beautiful FEC center.
Yes.
Up just north of Woodland, in that part. You have Jack's, which is Jack's 60, which is aptly named a 60-lane center in Jackson, Michigan. Anderson, a 44-laner. Last week was 40, which is 32 and 8 of A2s and GSXs. This week, Pro Bowl is 58?
60?
56.
56. By the way, I get good vibes walking in there.
You like
Big
it?
center.
Don't
Big
say
center.
it. Don't say it. I already know what you want. No.
I mean, there is room to make this into the biggest inline center in the world. I mean, this could be Inazawa Grand Bowl of Fort Wayne.
I mean,
120 lanes in a row.
Straight across.
Could you imagine the World Series that we could have in a place like that?
God, here we go.
I mean,
I knew it. I knew you guys.
Even one of the TNBA events you could have there, like the 120 teams,
that would
all at the same time.
Women's nationals. I mean
it. Yeah.
Keep
I mean, we got
going.
big plans.
Come on.
Big plans, Dave.
Big
Big plans. We might need to get some mold remediation for that building at the very far end. This is not Dave's building.
No,
this is a building that we're hoping to expand into.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, we'll go with that one.
Dave is in the bowling center. As you walk in, has the world's biggest concourse. It's like it's a concourse that probably is only rivaled by the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, like concourse wise. And then it's like 58 lanes with no pillars the whole way across. It has the look and feel of old school bowling centers, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You can almost smell the PBA as you walk in. Like it did that. Like, I mean, it looks like all the when they go to Kingpin and they're showing all the people bowling all at the same time. That's what it reminds me of. So
it's definitely.
What other ambitions do you have?
Other ambitions?
Yeah, within the bowling world. What's on your plate?
Well, I'd like to expand again. I'd like to grow. We are looking at some, locations. Always looking. I think there's some opportunities out there to expand bowling, maybe on the professional side. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to see if I could get my hands in a little bit of that, help you guys out a little bit more, maybe on a consultative side, commissioner, but we'll see. But I think there's some definite opportunities out there, and maybe it's time to look at it a little closer.
Yeah, I mean, bowling always needs more friends. I think is you're a huge friend of the sport. So, I mean, we wish you nothing but success. People who give back to the sport in such, massive ways, 107 times specifically.
We definitely try. We definitely
Trey
try.
says, side action with 120 teams at the same time would crash the computer. Yeah, that's because you're still running Windows XP.
Ouch.
Ooh. Maybe even Windows 95.
Ouch.
Well, those guys like action. They definitely like the action.
Oh yeah.
So, Tom Adcock is coming in saying PBA HOF. I have no idea what HOF stands for. None at all. Are you aware of what he's talking about? No. Yeah.
You guys know exactly what he's talking about.
He also has dial-up Trey with his.
I like Trey. I'm liking this.
Well,
dial-up, crash your computer. Okay, cool.
Fun story about Longview. So probably about 5 or 6 years ago, Simo had rented a car because he'd flown into Dallas, right? And he rented a Tesla. And he drove in, and there is one set of Tesla chargers, and they're at the Red Roof Inn. And I looked at Simo and I said, "You brought an electric car to Longview?" I said, "People look at me strange when I fill up with regular gas in Longview and not diesel." I go, they give me the side eye for using regular gas. What are you doing with an electric car?
I got my diesel. Trust me, I know what you're saying, Stu.
Mikey says, how far east would you be willing to expand?
Well, if the opportunity is right, I used to have a 4 or 5 hour bubble like this around everything. And, now I'm starting to look, maybe in different directions. So nothing's really off the table, I should say. Maybe not California or anything like that. That's too far out for me. But, yeah, it's a little far. But I could expand my bubble.
I also think that from the outside anyway, once you start expanding to warmer weather places, I guess the business model changes a little bit also.
Yes,
because you don't in Phoenix. A lot of the time, the bowling centers are way busier in the summer than they are in the winter because everybody wants the free air conditioning.
Exactly.
I mean, it's the same idea. It's like the weather's shitty outside. I want to be inside. Here, it's snowing outside. I need to be in the heat. It's the same thing, just the other way around. So, somebody said there's some calls for you to go to New Jersey. My town has several centers for sale currently.
Oh, Lord. And what town might that be?
Yeah. Then from North Central Indiana, always enjoyed hitting up David's centers. A friend of the show, Mr. Skillings, he is Fire Lake Bowling Center. He said, admire and respect what you do, David.
Thank you.
And that's a guy who is a fellow PBA host, extra mile host as well. Chris actually hosts the PBA Southwest Region Hall of Fame. So his masking units are actually the Hall of Fame inductees for every year.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So you and Chris would get on quite well chatting about those things.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
40 events.
Yeah, I mean, he must be at least, I mean, since I've been in Texas, he's probably ran 20 events. So yeah, I would say he's getting close to 50 at least.
Nice.
So yeah, and he's doing that in just the one center. He's had national stops there, a couple of regionals a year. So yeah, super good guy. Buff Love says, come to Maryland. Topping the chain here would be easy pickings. Man, you got Paul Henderson says Bolero learned that lesson here in Texas. So, maybe there might be some Texas opportunity. But we always get one guy. Kokomo leagues need more oil on the house shot. It's way short on volume and basically dry outside of that. Other than that, great center. Got the feedback, Dave.
Hey, you know what? Feedback is good. Sometimes it's important. You got to listen and understand. Some more oil? Really? Okay.
Yeah. David
I'll
says,
talk to the Zach Master about that.
Submarine says, David, buy a place here in Jacksonville, Florida. I mean, at least you'd have somewhere to go, Dave, when the weather was shitty. Well, you can say to Josh, you got this. I'm going down to the Florida Center.
I was hoping to say that to go to Tennessee or something too, but I don't know,
Well, there you go. James says Knoxville, Tennessee would be great city for expanding into. We've got Erie, Pennsylvania, where I think was the
hey, Matthew.
The PBA royalty is Erie, Pennsylvania.
Right.
Yeah.
Actually grew up in that center, so Eastway lanes know that one very, very well. That's who told me when I was 12 years old, Mr. Lytle, Mr. Bob Lytle said to me point blank, he says, David, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, Mr. Lytle, I want to own a bowling center like you. And he said, no, you don't. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. Nope. And well, I didn't listen.
No, you didn't listen. No.
Not this guy. No, never.
Oh, sorry to interrupt our chat here, David. Somebody is going to nationals. Are the Viking and the Phase 2 Pearl the Phase 2 pretty close? Heading to the Open, I have the Viking, but not the Phase 2. They aren't really particularly close in my mind. Just come back into the chat. Just send a regular message. What other balls do you have? Because I would see the Viking as being like a little bit more less stable, I guess, on the fresh than the Phase 2 Pearl. So if you had something else, you might not need a Phase 2 Pearl.
Phase 2 Pearl.
Sorry, the Phase 2.
Yeah.
Than the Phase 2. So just send us another message with what other balls that you actually have. Oh no, he's talking about the Phase 2 Pearl.
Okay.
I still don't. Yeah, it's actually the opposite way then.
Viking's slightly stronger.
Yeah, and for me, it's a lot smoother.
Agreed.
If you're taking 6 balls, I could see the argument both ways for having it or not having it. In 6 balls, for me personally, at the Open Championships, I probably wouldn't have both of those.
I would have one of them, but not both.
But maybe if I was taking 8, I could have both, depending on how much I like the Viking. If I'm using the Viking a lot in my arsenal, I think Phase 2 Pearl becomes more of another ball that you could have.
Yeah, I don't have enough feedback yet from the tournament either to know how much they're hooking. So,
yeah. But yes, so just for me, it would be you'd go from the Viking to the Phase 2 Pearl would be the direction. In 6 balls, I don't think you need both. No, it's early, but have you talked to any? I haven't. I actually could because Gotchel bowled the first squad, but they're not going to like this, but I don't really find that the first month of the tournament is very productive for knowing what the tournament's going to be like. I know that's shocking, but like most times the people who go really early, the lanes seem like they're a little bit more challenging early on in the tournament. There's been a couple of years where, somebody's bowled a really big score in like March and then nobody's got close to it.
Greg Thompson had a big one early with.
But I haven't. As soon as we do get some feedback, I'm going a little later this year now because the PBA Tour season has sort of gone over my dates. So, yeah. But as soon as we get feedback, we will try to give it to you. So Ryan says, hello.
Oh my gosh, it's Chris Barnes' kid.
Yes.
Nobody says that anymore.
Adam says, would you consider New York?
What part of New York?
Hey, I guess you're a bit like the game show. If the price is right.
Hey, you're the next contestant on The Price is Right. I'll buy your center. The Price is Right.
Rick says for 6-ball Arsenal, you should consider 2 slow balls, 3 medium balls, and 1 quick ball.
That's good advice.
Yeah,
that's good, simple advice right there for a 6-bag.
Adam's talking about Staten Island.
Oh, don't know. Don't know about that one. That may be a bit far.
Long Island.
One amendment to Rick's
Long Island dueling. Long
2 and 1, and then a spare ball because most people are going to throw that one way more often. They're going to throw the third medium ball. But
Larry's is suggesting San Antonio. San Antonio does have one of my favorite proprietors in it currently, Joe Vito. He's a fun cat.
Trey. Just staying around today for the real estate options.
Good times. So yeah.
Love a good real estate option.
Right.
Yeah. So somebody's saying, they're suggesting the center you were talking about, Eastway. We've got a Memphis now. So Dave, lots of options out there. I mean, all you needed to do was come on the show to get some, we got a couple of alleys for sale in Erie. Sunset Lanes is available in Illinois. Dave, this might be your best source for.
I have a feeling their group already knows.
I'm not seeing. I'm seeing quite a few that I've heard about. Yes.
We got a different one. Only inside the USA is boring. Dave should join us in Germany.
There you go.
Now that might be fun. That'd be definitely an Oktoberfest trip every year.
Bowling PBA says he has Equinox Solid, Iron Mats, both polished, pinned down. Okay. Vengeance, Idol Cosmos, Optimum Idol, Bionic and Concept. You have a lot of smooth balls.
Really smooth.
Are you really high rev rate? Because
sounds two-handed.
Yeah.
And softer speed. Maybe not softer speed.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's no quick balls in there.
Yeah.
The only thing I see out there, if that's a two-handed arsenal, which is
he also has the Viking.
Actually, guys, I had a question. You just said something interesting.
300 rev rate.
What exactly is a quick ball in your eyes?
What one that's in general terms, it's going to be the one that you use later in the block that skids more down the lane and then changes direction harder. So something like, the one that we would always use would be like High Road Pearl.
Okay.
Would be the storm ball that was referred to as
the quickest response to
quick
oil and dry.
Yeah. So it skids in oil, and when it hits dry, it changes direction.
Okay.
Dave, consider a country club / bowling combination.
Sounds like
I know exactly what he's referring to, so there you go. I got to laugh on that one.
Okay.
Deborah, Dave, can you talk about your youth programs, assuming you have them? How do you grow them?
Well, youth programs are really, really important and special. We have them pretty much everywhere, all locations. Some of the markets are a little stronger than others based on location. The key thing with the youth programs is kind of getting the right person in charge of the program that can direct not only the kids, but direct the parents or grandparents or aunts and uncles, friends and family that come with the kids. Because, unfortunately today we compete against those damn tablets and phones and, we want to put them down and live a little bit more. But growing a youth program just takes a lot of work working through the schools. Maybe working with an after-school program is a nice thing. Another great option with youth programs is working with your local Special Olympics. That can be really beneficial as well for all ages, not just the youth, but also for having the special needs program, which is fantastic. I'm a huge supporter of those programs. But you have to start with a really good leader within your youth, within the youth program, because the better the leader, the stronger that they guide them, the more kind of regimented, the little bit more, I call it accountability, because sometimes in today's market, we don't hold our kids maybe as accountable as Barnzy and my generation. I called both our ages out on that one, Chris. You're still older than me, but that's what I would do. If you've got a good person that can work with the youth and work with the parents and bring them together as a team, you can grow your youth programs pretty.
Deborah is the fantastic person that does that. So
oh, absolutely. I hope that answered Deborah.
She's been doing it for a minute, and she's one of the good ones for sure. So.
I assume he's talking about the youth, the Storm Youth Championships. He says, "Do you think that's is complete, or are there holes in that lineup?" No, sorry, misunderstood. He's talking about the bowling balls because we're calling it the tournament series. Okay.
There probably is some gaps to be filled, but I think they wanted to put it out in front of the tour season, and so it covered.
I think
a pretty wide range, but there's always more.
I think it was a marketing thing. I think it was a nice. I think that they released a bunch of balls that all did different things, and I think almost every year they could have had the tournament series as such. I feel like when Storm starts the year off, they have a roadmap of what they're going to release during the year, and I don't think that they're super reactive. I think they're more, that it's more planned than that. I don't think they're not reacting to the market, but I don't think that they're going to get like, oh my God, shiny balls are selling really well. We're just going to release 10 of those.
Ooh, pretty.
I just, yeah. That's just kind of the way I see it. So do I think that it's complete or there are more holes? I think that you could take those 6 balls and you'd be in good shape. I think it covers most bases. I do think, though, that over time, not every person is going to like every ball and not every person is going to hate every ball. It's just the way it is. So over time, I think it will change and you'll, add in or take away. But like, to me, it was a good start. And I think it was a nice marketing play. So that's my take on it. I guess it didn't work that well for me marketing wise because I almost started talking about the Storm Youth Championship.
Well, we're not the target market sometimes for some of those. So,
well, thanks, Matty. Appreciate you.
You may be busy. I'm not sure what you got going on. I don't want to hold you here longer than you want to be.
I'm good. If you guys want to deal with me, I'm here. I'm enjoying it.
Well, if anybody's got any more questions for David, fire in. But let's just do a brief sort of rundown of my week, what I saw, what was positive, what the guys who knew what they were doing did. I felt like in that bowling center, I had a lot of trouble with getting the ball to go through the pins in the way that I needed to, which resulted in me adding quite a bit of rotation. And that did not work out very well once the lanes transitioned. It was a good solution on the fresh. If you can imagine, the way the lane was set up, I saw it, and this is how I described it to Chris. Outside of 6 was totally out of bounds. From 6 to about 12 was a lot of friction that you couldn't really use going straighter. About 16 was where I wanted to bowl. Unfortunately, my fellow professionals didn't see it that way. And I ended up having to bowl at about 20, which was still okay. And by the time I got to 25, I was out of real estate and fucked. So that's why my week didn't particularly go spectacularly well. Simo managed to play in the sort of 15 to 17 zone for a little longer than most people were able to. He then also was aware that the move from there wasn't a small move.
Yeah, it wasn't 5 and 3. It was like 12 and
and
7.
If you watched EJ on the TV show, EJ almost bowled my tournament in his 2 games. Like, he had a really, really good ball motion. And then specifically on the right lane, the ball started to pick up a little bit sooner. And it's kind of hard to see. But what happens is it kind of isn't as responsive in the next part of the lane. So it pushes past the spot that he wants it to pick up at. So it wasn't so much that the ball wasn't coming back from the spot that EJ was getting it to. It was that it was getting to that spot at all. Like, he didn't want it to get that far right.
It was bleeding off, and then it didn't have enough energy to get back off.
So now EJ had the skills. He just didn't make the decision to jump more in where Simo and Santu were crushing them from.
Yeah.
It's just hard to make that choice when you've just bowled 250 and you feel like, hey, I've got a good look here and they're not playing here.
It was one of those shows. It was not a big advantage to be in the early matches because there was going to be a big transition.
Yeah.
So,
and once that big transition happened, it was very easy.
You got something you need to be?
Oh, no. Someone was just saying hi.
Okay. All right.
So let me just find these questions that Thomas asked. I don't see any world in which wood lanes would ever return. How about you, David? No. Also, what is your verdict or opinion about twister pins? I find twister pins quite entertaining. You might be talking to 2 of the most pro twister pin people. I see twister pins as just a different variable, like bowling on a different lane surface. Like, it's not the same. It's not supposed to be the same. Like, you know, I think the funniest thing I ever heard was when people would 4-9 because they had too much entry angle, and they go, that wouldn't 4-9 on wood pins.
Yeah.
Cool. No, but cool. You're not playing on wood pins. You're playing on plastic pins. So,
And, you know,
why don't you adapt?
Yeah.
But bowlers prefer to complain.
Yeah.
No. Or will string pin centers sooner or later be approved and allowed in every single bowling event? That is, I believe that will happen to some extent. I think that it might end up being that some of the freestanding places almost create their own niche within the industry by being like a traditional center that has it.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people, you know, will support that. I think there's a lot of, you know, I'll never bowl on strings. Well, yeah, but what else are you going to do? You bowl.
We said that 30 years ago when we started putting synthetics in. I'll never bowl on that. That's crap.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. It's, you know, we bowl in the certified ones, and certainly the uncertified that's a different thing. But like Sue said, I mean, Guardian, Wood, SPL, HPL, Pro Lane, those are all different options, but it's still bowling. Twister pins, wood pins, string pins. There's a different strategy to all 3 of those pins.
yes.
And it's still bowling. It's just a little bit different way of having to knock them over.
Great point. Great point, guys.
Yeah. Jay, is this a decent 6-ball Arsenal for a one-hander? Harsh reality solid. Is Evoke Stereo, phase 2 solid, phase AI, hustle rip. Yeah, you might have a bit of a big gap between the phase AI and the hustle rip, but overall, pretty good option.
I'd flip out the AI for a phase 2 Pearl if that's what you like.
Yeah.
That would give you a better bridge there.
I would think that the answer to this would probably be yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was, does Dave know Ricky Bourgois?
Or Jay. Yes.
Or Jay. Oh, you were going that way? Okay.
Did you guys hear about the meteor that hit Northern Ohio?
No.
No.
Did you hear about the UFOs?
pray every night they come and take me back home. Please come back. Or as Quagmire would always say, he got kidnapped by the aliens, and you go, "Hey, you guys still have the annual probe machine?" Great episode, by the way.
David, as a former professional bowler, thank you for hosting all the tournaments you have and will likely to continue to host.
Thank you. Yes. As long as they don't give me a reason to piss me off, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like, we are very good at pissing off, and you're sometimes a little sensitive. So, there's probably going to be, it's a good chance that we're going to piss you off.
It'll happen 2 or 3 times this week, but I'll get over it. You want me to be pissed off, not angry. If I'm angry,
exactly.
The Southern comes out and I start stuttering, and then I become a total bitch. But that's beside the
point. Thoughts on the US Open, Pat? Did you send yourself a spare ball? I did not, because I had enough trouble trying to hit the 10 pin that week. So I didn't send it. I didn't really need to. My rev rate wasn't high enough that it really caused me a trouble. Concept was 100% the cheat code. Shout out to all the Storm guys who made it. I feel like that was a pretty big separator for us that week. So thanks to all the guys at HQ.
Yeah. I thought the patterns were more playable than they've been in a long time. I said not having to put in all the tricks and wiggles and things to apparently limit urethane. Made them. They were still plenty hard, but just watching from the back, nothing was easier than 1.75 to 1. But it was the first time it felt like you could, there was some score to be had, and it wasn't just chucking at the head pin a lot. So one of the more pleasurable ones to watch, at least.
I think I'm just going to go and tell housekeeping we're staying.
Okay.
Hello, housekeeping. Housekeeping.
I love Dave. I think he's amazing for bowling and also the PBA. What I have never asked him is how much bowling does he do now himself since he's so busy? Big fan, Dave. Go Beef and Barnzy. Well, you and I practiced together last week, so
we did. Chris and I actually shoot up last week and practiced a little bit.
The things that Chris will do for free lane.
Well, we can't discuss that part on here. Just say. Timmy Mack, huge fan, always been. Love my Tim. Brilliant guy, great pro shops, great career. I love his mother. I hope she's doing great. Please, Timmy, tell Mom I send love and thank you as always. I've thrown 6 games in league this season. It's not been good that way. I really need to, and honest to God, I say this, I really need to commit and go back and bowl a league a week. I really do.
If you were to bowl, which center would be the one that you would bowl at?
Well, regularly, I've always bowled league in Kokomo, and I've always subbed a lot of the other places. But I'd probably I'd like to go back to Wednesday night in Kokomo, our 30 team Dash for the Cash League. Yeah. A lot of fun.
Yeah. I just wondered which was the one.
I got a lot of fun leagues. So
yes, Concept is sold out at the minute. Yeah. I believe they're pouring some this week. So fingers crossed for that.
Maybe I'll come drink with you, Eric. We'll see. Eric will.
Rick is saying, Dave, is there anything bowl you can do to help you grow?
That's an interesting question. With all the different pro shops and different things that we offer, that'd probably be the best place to start. Or me personally grow, because I still suck. I mean, I still suck at bowling, but that's beside the point.
Rick has definitely got some interesting ideas, and
I've seen
always thinking outside the box.
We saw a lot of the neat concepts and different ways of thinking with Rick through Bowl U in Jackson a few summers ago. Very, very interesting kind of Wow.
Finally figured out a way to make it visual.
It is very visual.
Trying to bother.
Yeah. We often have it made at the Hampton Inn.
I was going to say they are staying at the right next to the strip club, the R8.
My wife's coming this afternoon.
Oh, I'm kidding. It's only $15 an hour where you guys are staying. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Speaking of the concept of some bowlers making bigger surface changes, I've seen one polished one, or one or two polished ones. I've kind of preferred it with the surface, but in PBA terms, I'm definitely speed dominant. So,
yeah, ironically,
yeah,
not so much at home. Dave, best advice for someone looking to get into the bowling center business?
And don't say don't.
Oh, why are you taking the fun away? It's the truth.
Yeah.
The best advice, honest to God, you need to look at a whole lot of facets of life. If you're going into one center, be prepared to divorce your wife, forget your kids' names, and work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Sometimes you get in the bowling business is a passive way to get in is not a bad way to do it. Actually, Chris Barnes and I had this conversation till about 2:00 in the morning last week. Sometimes coming in on the passive side or investing side is not a bad way to go because the return on your money can be very solid. But to be successful getting into the bowling business, you've got to have a lot of capital because it's surprising how much things cost. When shit breaks, all of a sudden you're going, wait, why does it cost that much? Why does the air conditioner cost $25,000? And so you really need to be careful on that. And with getting into the business, like I said, sometimes a passive way in is not a bad way in because it gets you an investment, maybe not as much risk on the capital, and gives somebody who really understands how to do it an opportunity to grow. And then your money grows with that. And then, you can continue to invest that way. That's a great way to do it. I think that's a really positive way to do it, honestly.
Hey, Chris, you're the low rep bowler on the show.
I am the low rep bowler on the show. I'll take this.
Oh, one. No. That's this guy. Hello.
Staying a little tall. This right shoulder has to stay back.
So just quickly, the number one tip for low rep bowlers to keep the elbow on the inside and stop turning the elbow early in the downswing. So
yeah. Once you get forward, your head goes forward, your shoulder goes forward. It's pretty hard to get that elbow back on the inside. So you got to keep your butt underneath your shoulders, and you got to keep your right shoulder. I try and think about keeping it back behind this right ear. Obviously, that doesn't really happen, but the longer you can keep it there, the more chances of keeping this on the inside. Lots of players talk about throwing their forearm through their target.
I like that one.
And that also tends to lead the same thing where you're only rotating with your hand and you don't want this part of your forearm facing inside your target. So,
yeah.
I'm actually going to take that tip and run with it. That's good tip.
Jason, I've struggled with ball speed, film myself, and notice I have a bent elbow in the backswing. I personally feel like my arm is straight. Yeah, it's amazing how much your body and your mind can fuck with you, for want of a better description. Like the amount of times when you're doing a lesson or somebody's helping you, like I actually did this with Baker, and Baker's saying, "Oh my God, your backswing was super high or whatever it was," and I'm like, "But it just isn't." And Baker was like, "Oh, I'm done with this shit." He just gets the phone out and he takes a video and he goes, "That," he pauses it at the point and you're like, "Oh, it doesn't feel like that." And that's why I really think the video is a key tool to use. Andy in Jackson, your pro shop guy at Jack 60. He has the what do we call it? Strike Seeker? Is that what it is?
Strike Seeker is the one that.
Yeah, Strike Seeker. I really like that product. He has that with the multiple angles at the same time. that is very useful. But let's just quickly get back to this. I personally feel like my arm is straight. Any tips or drills to fix it since I can't feel it correctly? On having
yeah, I mean, you don't really want it straight. That's not.
Yeah, that's how you end
that's
up.
How you throw it straight, or you end up, in a
overextending.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that you sort of, like, to me anyway, I feel like anytime that I've tried to fix something like that, not necessarily that, but just things like that, that aren't necessarily a technique thing, they're just what happens, I end up making it way worse. And I think that sometimes you are better to try and adapt your game around the things you do already. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily worry about the bent elbow in the backswing, and I'd worry more about how can I generate more speed just as a general thing. And for me, standing a little further back on the approach, standing a little taller, starting with the ball in a slightly higher position, all of those things, like try and get my feet moving a little quicker. All of those things tend to help me create more ball speed. If you're on the shorter side, don't know if you are or not, but if you go back and you watch some tape, some Norm Duke, specifically when Norm shot 300 on TV, actually, man, he is jumping up and down on the spot getting ready because he's just going to be like the road runner because he's like firing that thing down there. That's like a really good visual, I think, of like trying to get your steps a little longer and a little quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he created ball speed. And I mean,
yeah, so it's a relatively long swing. I feel a lot of times when people bend their elbow, it gets stuck just behind their butt. And so I understand when to get a little bit straighter, it will never get straight, probably, if you feel like it's straight already.
Yeah.
But a lot of that, like Stu says, getting a little higher swing, letting it drop into the swing, don't control it on the way down, loosen up that grip pressure and therefore your bicep, and you're also muscling so that on the way down it creates natural momentum to get up higher, and then you can use that effort on the way down versus on the way back through the downswing versus on the backswing.
Todd, we should get Dave on more often. We've got a lot of super chats while Dave's been here.
Yeah, all these ball questions, which we haven't been on for, I think.
Wife needs to replace electrified pearl. Low speed, not looking for something that hooks more. Would a hustle be comparable? She balls down to a tropical surge. Yes.
Yeah. M&M, something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
One of the shinier ones. I think that's probably the most popular of the shiny ones right now. Guys on tour throw it a little bit. That would get you a ball up from a tropical surge. Cove is something else I think that's probably too smooth. I think the hustles are a better play. Yes. And the M&M's pretty, so,
Ooh, I like pretty. I like pretty.
So pretty. How do I push away while keeping my shoulders back?
Think about keeping your chest up. Yeah. So if you you can just stand there in the mirror and just look at it. But if you let the ball drop down, your shoulder doesn't really move. It only moves if you lean forward. So it's very easy. And trust me, as the king of the push away and head down brigade, along with Wes, I mean, we struggle with it a lot.
Yeah.
And the more you start thinking about other things, i.e. the lanes being difficult or not striking enough or whatever, the more you get away from making good shots. And then the lanes become more difficult. So it's just about trying to keep your chest up, and then you let it go. And this shoulder, it's more about being not being there than it is the shoulder being a little bit forward. It's you don't want it going up and forward, because that automatically puts your arm around the ball.
Yeah, players at all levels chase their downswing with their head and gets them in trouble. One-handed, two-handed, tour level, 125 average. Push away and follow the ball, and from then on, it's a waterfall effect of bad body position. Your center of gravity goes up into your head, where you're probably least strong, versus staying in your core and your legs, and when your butt stays underneath your shoulders.
Okay, well, I think we're coming up to the hour, so we are going to say cheerio. So thanks, Dave, for being part of the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
An entertaining hour, having an expert in a field that we know virtually nothing about. So that was fun. Thanks for sharing some of your wisdom. Thanks for being a friend of bowling, and a friend of the PBA. So,
thank you. And thank you for being my friend, guys.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. I told you that the last 3 seasons, my high finish has been in your center. So, as last week, you totally fucked me by taking me to Decatur. I guess I'm going to have to will Pro Bowl into being my new favorite.
You're on probation.
Oh, that shit was funny. That was good. That was good.
So, yeah, I mean, I didn't like Jackson at first, but I came around.
Come on.
I don't think there's any save indicator for me. I'm not sure there's any save in that one for me. I told Chris that I missed the cut by 200 and I practiced for an hour and a half doing all sorts of different things and realized that I think I did the right thing. So that was a little worrying. So we're hoping for better things today. So thanks for joining us. We are going to sign this show off, but you take care of yourself. We will see you around.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Until next time, guys. Anybody else you'd like to say? Any final words?
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, I'm never a man without words. You know that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Great questions. Thanks for including me. And this was a lot of fun. And thanks again. I appreciate it.
Well, we don't have a chance to bring on somebody from this side of the bowling world, so we appreciate your time. Good luck this week. We know there's 800 things going on, and once you actually look behind the curtain, you see how many different things have to happen so that we don't notice that there's things that go wrong. So appreciate what you do, appreciate all you have done and continue to do for not only the PBA, but for the sport. So
thank you. This is one that we probably should have ran at some point. The opinions expressed on this show are ours and ours alone. They do not reflect those of the PBA, our sponsors, and many times each other. I feel like with Dave on, we should have ran that one a little earlier.
Yeah, we might be behind the 8 ball on that one, but
that was good. I only swore twice. That's pretty good.
We got good Dave. Yeah. But in any case, thanks, Dave, for coming on. Until the next time, hopefully next week we find a window. We will keep trying to as we can. But between now and then, please support the sponsors that support us. Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global. Put the thing up.
It is right there.
It's bloody scrolling across the bottom.
Oh my God. Coolwick, Vice, Turbo, Platinum Ford, Lightning Strikes, and Fire Lake Bowling Center, as well as Bowler's Mart. Thank you for watching. You now know that Chris doesn't realize who our sponsors are, but can read. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.
Jerk.